Think you need bone broth in a bar? Hey, it's Brian Late back with a review you can use, and today we have from Ancient Nutrition, bone broth protein, peanut butter chocolate chip. What? Superfood protein bar, non-GMO, gluten-free, 15 grams of protein per bar, 8 grams of sugar, woo, 1 gram of sugar alcohol, it's kind of turning that around, 9 grams of fiber, wow. So this is about a 2-to-1 ratio between sugar and protein, which, you know, we'll see. So, a lot of organic stuff. We got organic peanut butter, chicory root fiber, chicken bone broth, grass-fed whey protein concentrate. So we've got chicken broth, and then we've got milk proteins, 100% cacao chocolate chips, organic cashews, organic clover honey. Okay, so there's where some of the sugar's coming from. So that's a natural sugar source, so maybe it's all right. So we're not getting that processed stuff. It's still the sugar molecule, but sometimes that processing has micronutrition. Anyway, cocoa nectar. That coconut nectar, that's probably another sugar source. I don't know. And now we're getting too small. I really need new glasses. Vegetable, sea salt, coconut oil, and stevia. So natural flavors and stevia. So, but this is a new brand for me. This is, I know bone broth is becoming one of these popular things. I've been seeing protein powders and stuff from bone broth, as well as you can get concentrate bone broth cans, and then you heat it up and you mix it with some water and stuff and drink it. I know a guy who makes his own bone broth. It takes a long time. It's a lot of cooking down, and you can't really speed it up. It takes a long time, but it's really good for you. And what I don't know is when you make it that way on your stove and you store it, it's good for you. Is it still good for you when you put it into a protein bar, especially with, and it's 8 grams of sugar. Now this is, okay, so serving size is 1 bar. 1 bar is 55 grams. It's 230 calories and 120 calories from fat. Now that's interesting because a lot of these have low fat, but that's good because usually you got 13 grams of total fat, 4 grams of saturated fat. That's going to help feel fulfilling. It's fat that helps you to get your leptin response going and tells your brain, you know what, we're full, stop eating please. So this whole low fat craze is just, it's bull crap is what it is. Oh, that has a very interesting, you can smell the chicory. It almost smells like it's got raisins or something in it as I shove it up my nose accidentally. Very interesting texture. So we've got peanuts and chocolate chips. This must have gotten warm. It is a little gooey. It's a little sticky. We've got specks of things, chunks of chocolate and peanuts. So let's see how it tastes. I must say, this was a very different flavor. It really tastes like you're eating bone broth protein. I mean, it has this meatiness, as well as the chicory root. I know it says fiber, but man, the chicory is very noticeable in this. The smell, the aroma. The chocolate chips are really bitter because there's no sugar in them. Peanuts good. You know, this is going to be hard for me to give a score because it's in a category I've not tried anything in this bone broth category before. I have tried some all-natural stuff, and some of those within them have been pretty good and some not so good. So we're going to put it in that all-natural, organic category. It is a little high in sugar, but that's okay. I mean, 8 grams for a whole bar isn't so bad, especially when we got 15, so it's almost 2-to-1, not quite. But it has a very short list of ingredients compared to all the other bars. I mean, some of these bars have just a lot of ingredients and things like that. And a lot of it's because they're organic and they go out of their way to say that. I mean, we've got organic cashew butter and vegetable glycerin and sea salt and organic coconut oil. And I think ingredients-wise, this is quite, you know, short of just taking a bunch of seeds and nuts and raisins or something and making your own. This is pretty interesting list. It is pretty, you know, real food based, so that's good. Very little processing here. So if you're used to I'll hold it the right way around. if you're used to highly processed foods, this is probably going to be a bit of a take back. But I mean, I can taste the chicken broth in the bar. It's not overpowering. The chicory is the biggest flavor and kind of the one to get used to. And then the bitterness of the chocolate chips is one that's really going to kind of set you back. But if you got used to this kind of bar, and then you went to one of those that have 15 grams of sugar alcohols and all that stuff, man, they would taste so sickening sweet. You'd probably spit it out. So in that category of all natural, this is an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. There are a few surprises with the chicory and the bitter chocolate, but once you get used to that, it's going to be, but it's more real food based. Now, so if you're used to those sweeter bars, you're going to think this is like a 3, but you got to get in that all natural category. We've got vegetable proteins, and you've got all this kind of weird stuff that, we did some stuff last year with eggs and all this thing that were just, really horrid. And I grew up on a Feingold diet, so we did some stuff with carob and rice cakes and honey and stuff like that. And so, I'm used to some of this stuff. So some of this kind of takes me back to, I don't remember having anything taste this good back in the early 80s, not the 70s, but the 80s. But so in light of that, I'm giving it 8 out of 10 in the all natural category without much processing, real food based. We have had some that are a little bit better. I think the chicory is a little bit overpowering. If they could somehow tone that down, I think it would be a better flavor. And the bone broth aspect, I don't really know how much of a benefit the bone broth is in this bar form, because part of the whole thing of the bone broth is cooking all that nutrition down into a concentrate, really, in some ways, and you get all the goodness out of the bones and the marrow and all that, and so all the vitamins and nutrients and stuff like that all kind of cooked down. I don't know how much that's still present in the bar. So, because I don't really know how they process that, and if they're boiling off the water and you're getting some kind of powder out of it, because you can do that with low temperature and say in a vacuum. You put it in a vacuum, very little temperature at all, you can get rid of the vast majority of the water and leave the rest of the stuff behind. So I don't know exactly how they're processing the bone broth, but I like the idea. I like the idea of a real food, all natural, other than the stevia, so mostly natural. But it's not really, really sweet. It has a nice texture. It's not really sticky. It has a decent aroma. You can smell the chocolate. And I like that idea of getting back to chocolate before Hershey just bastardized it, really. There's no other way to say it. Putting all that milk and sugar and stuff in it. Getting back to that natural ingredients. I would love to have some of those original hot chocolate style recipes and things. Some of them have hot peppers and different stuff in it. I like that getting back to the earth kind of thing. So 8 out of 10 for me in the all natural real food category. Had some better, had a lot worse, and so try it out. Jungle Jim's they have this line. They have several other flavors. I'm definitely going to try them when they're on sale. They're not cheap. This was, I think, like $2.80, something like that. If I remember correctly, maybe $2.70. So they're not inexpensive compared. It's not only 15 grams of protein. It's not like this is a 30-gram bar. However, getting back to the real food and unprocessed, it tends to be a little bit more expensive. And plus it's a smaller brand than a lot of processed stuff that you buy in a grocery store where they're selling millions of bars a day or something. But so good. So Ancient Nutrition, thank you very much. Have you anybody had these bars? Is there a flavor there that you particularly like to see me try? And I know when I was at Jungle Jim's, I saw some pre-workouts and other stuff with brands that I want to try. There's one that has 6 grams of beta-alanine instead of the 3. And it's cheaper than what I can get at GNC. But right now I'm in the middle of something, we'll see. And I just have to remember to go over there and get it. All right, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for clicking like. Thanks for subscribing. And thanks so much for sharing. I'm seeing more and more retweets of my stuff and more thumbs up, or loves. Awesome. So getting some decent growth on this channel. Thank you all new people. I know it's an eclectic array of all kinds of content, but that's just my brain. All right, thank you very much, and we'll see you later. Goodbye. No, stop. Wow. Ancient. Oh. What is that noise? neighborhood used to be so quiet. Then all the old people have moved out because us young idiots moved in.